Aries.
Hello Aries, this is your astrological forecast for November 2016, and let's just start out asking you this. How is your personal transformation going with Uranus there in the first house? Especially for those of you, first half this sign, you've been going through all of these first, which could feel like chaos and upheavals, right? But it's just those big life changes that have come into your life and from it helped you shift course. So I think that most of you at this point now are feeling that you are liberated, freed, onto your new path, happy about it, but of course it takes energy to get through it, right? And those of you in the rest of the sign, you still have Uranus either upon you or coming to you, and you will also come to feel those personal shifts, right? So be ready for it. But Uranus will only speed up the timeline for those changes that are important for you so that you can have major leaps and bounds of personal new growth and so forth. So it's all good. Now last month, October, was pretty much a relationship for you. And if you're listening to this early on, listening to it on the October end, well, then you're already still there and working your way through balancing your relationships and trying to figure out what really works for you, what works for your partner. You might have found that there's extra time now to actually engage and spend with your partner. So enjoy that while you can, because as the sun passes through and completes this journey of your 7th house, it's going to move into totally different areas, and it's going to be a full year before the sun gets to radiate and brighten up this area in your chart. We have, as we start off in October, Aries, the sun and Mercury in your 8th house. So that has you looking into your finances, but not as much as your income. That's more depicted by the 2nd house. This is the 8th house. So it has to do with your savings, investment monies, and so forth, retirement funds, maybe even royalties and commissions, and not to mention the money that you might be sharing with your significant other or any other partners and so forth. But the sun and Mercury going through the sign of Scorpio was going to allow you to dip deeper down into your emotional state, which Scorpio is all about. We're going to get in there, we're going to be more intimate and so forth, so you can come to feel that that is going to be a really good time for you. We have Venus here just as we entered out of October, conjuncting with Saturn. It's just moved a little bit apart here as we enter into November, but the influence is still there. Now for you, Aries, that's your 9th house, and the 9th house has everything to do with higher education, your higher thought processing, your spirituality, and also doing research. So I could see that many of you will put your love, which is Venus, into dedication, which is Saturn, into areas that need to be further explored as far as deepening, perhaps even positioning yourself for what is to come next month as we get into your career house. But November is like a preparatory state for it. If there's any tests or reviews that are coming up for you, this would be a great time for you to have it, because you're so connected to what is essential and meaningful for you. And of course, since Venus is now cruising through the sign of Sagittarius, it's all about you looking to your future. Where is it you're wanting to go? Not only with what you're positioning yourself to as far as your career, but where is it you would like to see your relationship go? Remember, Venus is always matters of the heart. It's also matters of finances. So you might be projecting yourself down the road where you'd like to go in order to increase and expand this area. Mars is working really, really well. It is in Capricorn, and Mars thrives here. Why? because Mars is your physical drive, okay? It's your ambitions, and it's in the 10th house for your career. So I can see October too was really important to you, and now here it's still here for a few degrees more to go in November as we start off, so at least expect that first week, 10 days to really help you conclude what you can achieve in the career area right now. It was pretty powerful there, 3rd to 4th week of October as it conjuncted with Pluto, meaning that some of you have initiated new starts in your career. I feel that is good because that's what you want. Mars only goes through your career house once every 2 years, right? So I could see how you've been upping your energy. You're starting off November in the same way, and do what you can so you don't have to wait another 2-year cycle to be able to push your point, okay? You're powerful, Aries, and I'm loving to see that about you because it is your ruler. And so I could see how you're taking the steering wheel of the vehicle of your life as you are moving forward here now. I would also like to propose that any type of relationships at this point, having Jupiter in your 7th house, of course that can indicate your significant other, your loved one, right? But it could be partners you work with. There is support for you here until late summer of 2017 to work it, to really see which people are good for you, that can enhance you, but it's also you that can be very supportive to anybody that you're close to help them move forward. It's a generosity that's coming in that you'll be feeling in your heart when you help and support others around you. And of course, I know that you're going to feel welcome to embrace whatever support you're getting too. And before I move along, I'm just going to cover a little enigma that seems to have been going on for some while, and that is the question, why does Karen always sit in the camera position she does? And not that it matters to me, but I know some of you are so curious. The thing is, 2 points, all right? The camera is there, and I want to stay in touch with you, so I keep my eyes there, but I have this big, huge planche with all the transits, the dates, and so forth, because I don't always have them in mind. If I didn't have that, and if I was just talking about day-to-day things, I could look at you straight in the camera. Of course, there's nothing wrong with this side of the face, as you can see, so I'm not hiding it. But there's 2 reasons. One, I have to look at the planche, and instead of doing this, which could be, you know, distracting, I keep my position straight in the middle of these 2 points, but I keep my eye on you, I keep the eye on the planche. But the most important point for me as Aries is that when I think about the future and I'm trying to compile all the energy of the influences coming in, this angle is where I look to the future, where I compile or channel the information. It's looking upwards towards the right. So I have 3 points, and this is why I sit like this. If I was to look this way, looking at that angle, I'd be looking into the past. But this is the future. Just try it out for yourself. That's a great tip for you, because when we look upwards towards the right, we're looking, compiling, reaching for future information. When we look to the left, then we're processing the past. Now, when I do your readings, I'm looking to the future. I'm not looking to the past, right? Because that's when we go down memory lane. But the future is always accessed in this angle. Now, if I was giving a talk to you and we were not talking about the future and I didn't have this big planche board over here, I could just talk to you like this and we would be talking, communicating about whatever we were. But we're talking about the future, so I'm sitting this way. Now you know, right? Now, let's get on with it. We have now, for you, starting off top of the month, the Sun and Neptune, beautiful aspect. It's a trine, and that is one of the highest aspects we can have. The Sun being you, Neptune being your hopes, dreams, wishes, and so forth, and the Sun being in your 8th house. It's an 8th to 12th house scenario, meaning It's your subconsciousness, it's your emotional houses, it's water, right? So we assimilate all that symbolic water, putting it to our dreams, and you are going to be looking at something coming up from your subconsciousness that's going to pop up to your conscious mind, and I feel it has to do with your creativity, all right? On the 2nd, we have Mercury and Pluto, which is communication and transformation. Put the two of them together. Today, you are going to be communicating something of very deep importance. Your Mercury also is in the 8th house, Pluto in your career house. So I'm thinking it might tie into what has to do with money, has to do with how you could grow, maybe some bonuses, or maybe even, hopefully, a raise, right? On the 4th, we have Venus and Uranus, and I love when they come together as a trine, which they do twice a year. This is the time for it to come back around to us. Venus being love, being your emotional self, but also money matters. Uranus being the element of surprise. So on this day here, the 4th, it's between your 9th house and your 1st house. So it could be good news from afar. If you have family, friends living in another state, out of country, it could be that. If you're looking into getting any visas for travel, great news on this day. If you're having any court cases, any suits going on, this is also the area of the law represented by the 9th house. And then the surprise event could be just good news landing there for you. If you're thinking about needing to travel, this would be a wonderful month for you to do so, because the 9th house is long distance travel as opposed to any travel or journeys showing up in your 3rd house. You could have a lot of fun. It might be something that you've worked for or towards, since Saturn is represented. So it shows that there has been effort in getting there, and here is the possibility. We have on the 7th, you in some transformational state. The Sun and Pluto, this is you digging deep into what you believe, Aries, into what matters to you. This is also a work-related issue. You could have some encounter here with, it could be a coworker, but if you're having any discussions or reviews with your supervisor, great day for you to come across with what is important to you. Now we jump to the 15th. Again, communication is central. Mercury and Mars. Mars being your drive, your ambition. You're a go-getter today. And on the 15th, Mars here is looking into how you could expand this energy into something that's more so a higher goal for you. So you're goal-oriented. On the 18th and 19th, we do have a couple of things showing up where, oh, I feel it has to do with your romantic life. There is you now moving forward with it. I see you being very open, very direct in the ways that you communicate your dreams of what it is you're wishing, wanting, needing to implement. And don't forget about that Jupiter in your 7th house, because why? It's expanding. It's growing this area for you. So between now and late summer, before Jupiter moves out of here, you will have transits that will come in and knock on your door to open up, and that would be the time frames where you could come in and speak your highest truth. It's not always as easy to just, put it out there, right? Sometimes we're waiting for the right timing of events, and that's what I'm seeing coming up here, especially between the 18th and the 19th. Now, on the 22nd and 3rd, we have important dates. This is for you when Mercury is going to meet up conjunct with Saturn and sextile Jupiter. What does that mean? Again, it's your communication, what you're communicating of importance to you, having to do with how you can secure your situation. That's Saturn wanting to plant deep roots, right? And then Jupiter wanting to expand those horizons. And so we want to grow and we want to secure at the same time. Very important dates. So I would say all the dates from the 19th to the 23rd pretty much run together. So even though these transits sound separate to one another, they flow into one another over these days. Then we have the 24th. This is Jupiter and Pluto. Might be a little confrontation here today, somewhere along the line. And if I'm not wrong, I believe the 24th also is Thanksgiving. So there could be a family issue that might come up. Now when everybody's gathered, it might be a great time to bring it up, to get everybody's thoughts, opinions, and processing upon it. And hopefully, you know, it's just all done in good spirits, so you can get along there with your turkey dinner, right? But on the 25th, it's like whatever was discussed there on the 24th, it's lingering and it's still working, Aries, behind the veils. And you might just feel that if you weren't as expressive as probably you thought you wanted or needed to be there on the 24th, it looks like you have a couple of days here where not only will you be processing and thinking about it, but it looks like you will approach it, just so that you can have your fair share say in whatever the situation is, and trying to bring it out to a better balance. And I'm sensing you're going to make a lot of good headway here as you find that inner courage to bring it out. Then on the 26th, unexpected news. I feel it's great news coming for you. I can pretty much see a smile on your face because this news is going to affect you directly and personally. So it's all good. Now on the 29th, however, some decisions coming in, and when we make our own decisions, means or indicates that we've been thinking about it for a while before we come out with it. But this might just come out of the blue, meaning that it could be news from somebody else that's making or has made a certain decision upon something, and then you're going to be given this news. And it's one of those things that might take you by surprise, unexpected, and then you're just going to have to process it and see how it falls into place there with you. But let's speak about the new moon, Aries, 29. Here we have it in Sagittarius, and it will be in your 9th house for higher truth, spirituality, anything of the law that is needed, or also if you're needing to look for a publisher, this could be a great beginning of a new cooperation. Okay, so the new moon always instigates new beginnings. So in any of these areas, it is having the power to be with you for the next 12 months until the new moon next year, approximately around the same time, give or take, will be in the same area. So put your tensions down. For example, if you're wanting to travel more in the next 12 months, especially to those faraway places, that should be your intention here for this month. We have the full moon in Taurus, which will be on the 14th. For you, that's your 2nd house for money and income, anything of values to you, which will be illuminated. So the 14th moon in Taurus is going to have you feeling your needs that much stronger, because Taurus is always very close to their needs, and that's what you're going to be embodying. So listen guys, have a great month. I will see you in December. Bye now.